I'm Dr. Krishna Kumar, Chief Research Officer at Akay Bioactives, and here at the SupplySide Global 2025. I was gifted with the opportunity to lead or to start the nutraceutical arm for Akay, now as Akay Bioactives. As a responsible organization, our primary objective was to provide a clinically substantiated, well scientifically backed, clean label extracts to our consumers. In the last 10 years, we published almost 75 peer-reviewed publications. So in these 75 peer-reviewed publications, which actually appeared in highly cited journals with academic quality, having an impact factor, say, from 3 to 8. So this actually shows our commitment to science and as well as, the way we develop the ingredients. One more thing I just wanted to add in this respect, not only the research, but also Akay is, like a 30-year-old company. Our, strength basically, one of the other strength basically is in the traceability, sustainability, and quality. The people who are working with us, they are more than 25 years, working with us in the agri team as well as in the procurement team. They know specifically on the pre and the post-harvest operations of each of our botanicals. So that is actually making a lot of, confidence as well as quality in terms of our ingredients. So combined together, I would say like the ingredients of Akay Bioactives is not just clinically validated ingredients. It is much more than that. It is coming as a combination of whole bunch of science, the basic science and clinical studies, along with quality, traceability, and sustainability. That has really helped us to bring our reputation in the global nutraceutical industry. And some 15 years back, we were trying to extract a fenugreek seed mucilage. Fenugreek seed mucilage from fenugreek seeds. And we did, like a lot of different kinds of extractions. And finally, when we try to, convert them into a powder form, its color becomes like, very dark in color. We never get the white powder. So this problem, then one of our chemists, one of our scientists, he was just for a fun, he was just sprinkling some curcumin into this in order to get a kind of, like a yellow fiber. And he actually kept it overnight. And in the next day, the way this curcumin has complexed with this fiber, its behavior, its gel nature, its, these kinds of, properties, I would say both physical as well as mechanical properties, which triggered a lot of interest on us. And we went into details. We studied each aspects. And finally, we find that it can actually act as a self-emulsifying reversible hydrogel. So that's how, FenuMat technology took the birth. I told you that, FenuMat is a self-emulsifying hydrogel technology, and which has got some unique properties that it can increase the solubility in oils as well as in water. So that means it has got a kind of an amphiphilic nature. Amphiphilic hydrogels are very well known in synthetic pharma delivery systems. There they are making polymers by chemical synthesis. But the mother nature has given us the natural biopolymer, which is having this amphiphilic hydrogel property. So we used that, the moment we identified this property, we were able to formulate different molecules and we looked into its, absorption. And then we find that this can actually go for a lymphatic absorption. This is much more than what we are doing or what generally we are seeing through the epithelial membrane or, like blood system and then and the absorption and bioavailability in the systemic circulation, rather than it is going for a lymphatic pathway and it can actually bypass the liver phosphate metabolism. So the result is that when we apply this technology, it can actually provide the bioactive free forms into the systemic formulation. And the free forms of the phytonutrients, say for example, curcumin, resveratrol, quercetin, fisetin, whatever you take these kinds of molecules, they are all having, the cellular permeability in the free form only. Mainly they are, the cellular permeability as well as their the properties. For example, if you take curcumin, the blood-brain barrier permeable form, it is the free form. The metabolites does not have this kind of a property. So ultimately, I would say like this FenuMat is able to provide the free forms into the systemic circulation by passing the phosphate metabolism. That is actually been a very a crucial and key factor for FenuMat technology. If you look at liposomes, definitely, or if you look at the other kinds of solid dispersant, this property very often lacks. And secondly, FenuMat can actually offer a lot of stability to the systems, and they can have like a higher loading levels, and they can be used for multi-component delivery. Multi-component delivery means more than one actives can be incorporated into the FenuMat. Say for example, you have a formula where 3 phytonutrients A, B, C are there. Now you can take the FenuMat and you can incorporate A, B, and C, and you can make it into a single beadlet powder. So then the result is that both A, B, and C, all the three will have enhanced solubility and improved bioavailability. So the result is that the dosage can be significantly reduced. So these kinds of properties, that is very unique. I would say like mainly, or I would say like only to FenuMat. This is this is actually one of the USPs of FenuMat technology. Yes, I would say like, this is a very interesting ingredient for gut health. Ferula asafoetida is basically, it is a latex of a tree. And that latex is basically, it is rich in essential oils with containing sulfur-containing compounds. But so far, nobody was actually able to use its properties for the like a health benefits to the human population. So what we did is we actually used our FenuMat technology. We impregnated this asafoetida gum into the matrix and converted into them, like a free flowing powder and it can be directly compressible into tablets or capsules or sachet or whatever, the different forms that you can make. So that's how the asafin took birth. Then we were actually, looking at the different properties of this asafin. Of course, we did some preclinical studies, and finally we decided to try its efficacy for digestive issues. Today more than 40% of the population is actually suffering from one or the other forms of like digestive issues, and this is actually causing, the digestive issues is also causing a significant impairment in the quality of life because of, they are usually connected with a lot of decline in the cognitive functions or brain functions, which like really badly affect their productivity as well. So that's why we decided to work on that. In the main reasons for the digestive issues, if you look at, it can be stress, it can be, like alcohol, smoking, or food habits, lack of exercise. These are all the problems which contribute to these digestive issues. So that's why actually, we decided to investigate the influence of acefin on functional dyspepsia symptoms. In the recent study, it's like a 60 subjects randomized into two groups and treated with them like 250 milligram per day. And we monitored the dyspepsia problems, followed by single dose on day first treatment, 3 days effect, 7 days effect, and 14 days effect. So this actually gave us a pretty good information on how fast this acefin is acting on the dyspepsia symptoms. The results are really interesting, and you can really feel acefin from the fact that 60% of the subjects, they reported more than 50% reduction in their discomforts by in 3 days supplementation. And then the numbers actually increased, and more than 75% were of the people were happy in just 7 days. In fact, our research organization, we collaborated with them, and they were saying that the participants were actually asking the possibility to get the more acefin for their personal use. So that's how that in such an efficacy we received. And in this study, one more thing that we have done is we looked into the stool types in the during that 14 days of period, the study period, and we find that this acefin is significantly causing softening effect of the soles, and it is actually a kind of an indication for relieving the constipation issues. And yet another part is which is more interesting, because we also looked into the sleep issues as well as the cognitive issues improvement of the participants in this 14 days time frame. The reason is that there are this the relation between functional dyspepsia as well as sleep issues, as well as lack of attention, like concentration, etc., have been well studied. And you can see, one can see a lot of literature saying that, like this functional dyspepsia is causing these kinds of brain functions, brain dysfunctions. This is a big problem. So we looked into this property also, and then we find that there is a significant improvement. There is a significant improvement in brain functions as well as the sleep issues. The participants, they reported a better sleep maintenance effect, as well as maybe something like early awakening effect. Those kinds of things significantly improved. So basically, you see that there was a significant improvement in the gut issues such as bloating, fullness, early satiety, heartburn, etc. There was an improvement in these kinds of symptoms, and also the the brain functions like sleep as well as attention or focus. Seeing these benefits, we decided to look into the gut microbiota, because functional dyspepsia is always associated with a gut dysbiosis. Dysbiosis means an imbalance between the good and the bad bacteria in the gut. So it is well elaborated. So there is a functional dyspepsia caused dysbiosis, and this dysbiosis is causing the problems to the brain function. So we looked into the gut microbiota, and we find that there was a significant improvement in good bacteria, as well as there was a decline or a kind of a down regulation in the bad bacteria. And this is very clear from the firmicutes to bacteriorates ratio, which we observed in the study. So in summary, Asafin is actually providing a significant effect, as relieve a rapid effect on functional dyspepsia problems, constipation problems, etc., as well as the brain functions and through a gut-brain axis. Yes, if you look at Asafin, I would say this may be one of the best example to illustrate our like science-based approach to bring the hidden secrets of Mother Nature for human consumption or for human benefits. See, we actually completed five preclinical studies looking into various aspects of gut health. And we find that Asafin can improve the gut barrier dysfunctions. It can actually increase the gut motility problems. It can actually, work on the gastric emptying. It has got an ulcer prevention or ulcer curation effect. It increases the gastric mucosa, and it is actually can increase the serotonin uptake and serotonin pathway for the connection between gut as well as the brain. So these are all the fundamental properties we actually brought initially, and then we went for the first clinical studies in 2018. And then we find that, it was giving a very significant effect on dyspepsia symptom. And that's how then secondly only, recently we did like a gut brain axis connection, another clinical study. So now you look into that. We have already around 5 publications of preclinical studies, as well as 2 publications in the two different publications and 2 different clinical studies for the dyspepsia problem. So altogether, this much science is today backing the Asafin ingredient as a very unique ingredient which can really work in the fundamental problems of the gut, and for the rapid relief of dyspepsia. Thank you so much for watching the way we bring the Mother Nature for the human health benefits. Thank you.